Eddie Hearn has received a lot of stick over the ticket sales relating to Anthony Joshua and Charles Martin. I've just recorded a video a few minutes ago on Fedor Chudinov versus Felix Stern, and I said in that video that, look, sometimes you've got to be controversial, but you've got to say what you believe. And I said in that fight I scored Chudinov the win, but I don't think it was really a robbery. I think robbery is an overused word. And I said that's going to be unpopular, and it's going to get me some nasty comments. But this one here is, I can tell in advance I'm going to get some stick for this, but I'm going to keep it real and say what I believe. So I'm talking about Eddie Hearn selling tickets for the Anthony Joshua Charles Martin fight. I'm talking about the fact that these tickets are sold via StubHub. I'm talking about the fact that these tickets are sold via Matchroom Fight Pass. And I'm talking about the prices involved. Hearn's taken a lot of stick over this. And I want to ask why. I want to ask what Eddie Hearn has actually done wrong here. So let me break it down. Tickets have gone on sale for Joshua Charles Martin for the O2. I presume around 20,000 tickets. Now, as I understand it, and I may be wrong, because I'm not sure I'm fully understanding this, so if I am wrong at any point, please do just comment below and I'll change my opinion, because I'm open-minded to being wrong here. But I don't actually understand what Eddie Hearn is actually doing that is so unpopular. So let's put it this way: a proportion of tickets goes on sale via Matchroom Fight Pass before they become on general sale. Now, one allegation is that a number of these Fight Pass members are ticket touts. That may or may not be the case. I'm not in a position to comment on that. Presumably, it would be likely that a small proportion of them would be ticket touts, yeah. I would acknowledge that is a distinct possibility and most likely a reality. But I know Fight Pass has recently stopped accepting new members because they've done, they've filled up to the capacity of how many they want. But up until very recently, like in the last week or so, anyone could have signed up to Fight Pass. You could have done it, I could have done it. Now, I don't have a problem, personally, with Eddie Hearn pre-selling tickets via Matchroom Fight Pass. And I do not understand why anyone sitting at home thinks they should be able to tell Eddie Hearn that he can't do that. For me, this is no different to a football team having a membership scheme where tickets go on sale to members. I think the scheme has two benefits. The benefit to the consumer is that people who are mega fans who want to be members do get the opportunity to buy the tickets first. The benefit to the business, in terms of Matchroom or the football club or whoever it wants to be, is that they have a second stream of income which is brought in by the memberships. And it helps them to create a more resilient business. Their sources of income aren't solely dependent on massive events, massive football matches, massive fights, but they have this sort of second stream of bringing in revenue. And I don't begrudge any business from doing well. That's a belief of mine. It's all very well and good saying it needs to be for the fans, the fans need to be looked after. I don't disagree with that, but I'm realistic that business relates to supply and demand. And what tickets are worth depends very much on what people are happy to pay for them. If 20,000 people at the O2 are happy to pay £200 for a ticket, then the tickets are worth £200. These businesses aren't stupid. They're very sophisticated, intelligent, well-researched operations. If Matchroom was putting the tickets on sale for too much money, and there were loads of seats empty, that would stop happening. You know, the reason these tickets are selling, and the reason they're selling at the prices they are, is because people are willing to buy them. That's the commercial reality of this business. But anyway, I'm digressing slightly. Let's start with Matchroom Fight Pass. I have no problem with Eddie Hearn selling tickets to Fight Pass members before the general public. As I say, number one, it rewards his loyal fans and supporters who want to be members of his group. I'm not a member. Number two, as I say, it creates a more resilient business for him. It gives the business an opportunity to have a second stream of revenue. And you know, when someone's in business, I don't begrudge them that opportunity of making revenue. If Eddie Hearn is able to put on fights that generate huge public interest, fair play to him. He deserves the financial reward that goes alongside with it. You know, these separate streams of revenue maybe mean that fights are available for him to make that he wouldn't be able to make otherwise. You know, people criticise him having Fight Pass, people criticise him having pay-per-view. Maybe Anthony Joshua wouldn't be fighting for a world title if it wasn't for pay-per-view. Maybe Anthony Joshua and Charles Martin wouldn't be meeting if it wasn't for Fight Pass. You know, I'm exaggerating to make a point, but people would be complaining about the quality of opponent if he was fighting Sam Sexton, wouldn't they? Nobody's complaining about this fight. You might have people like me saying it's too early, but nobody's saying it's a bad fight. Now, the Fight Pass thing seems to upset people. I don't personally get why. You know, I've got no problem with him selling tickets to Fight Pass people. If you wanted to be in that queue, you should have bought a membership to Fight Pass. As far as I'm concerned. Now, the StubHub thing is the more complex issue. So StubHub is a ticket sales website. As I understand it, it has two functions. One of them, it allows people to sell their tickets online. So in that sense, it acts as a Ticketmaster type website. Any musician, promoter can list their event and sell tickets to it. And its second function is that it sells secondary market tickets. So its second function is like an eBay for tickets, if you like. Now, those are separate and distinct functions. Let me reiterate that. Option 1, anyone can sell the tickets to their event. Option 2 is that someone like me could buy a ticket via Matchroom Fight Pass and then sell it on StubHub in the secondary market. Now, Eddie Hearn selling tickets at face value and Matchroom Boxing sell their tickets at face value on StubHub, I can see no difference to that to selling them via the Matchroom website. StubHub basically is a method of selling. It's just a different way of selling tickets. The tickets are sold at the same price. They're just bought via StubHub. You know, for me, this is a massive smoke screen. It's irrelevant. It's absolutely irrelevant. It's like saying, I don't know, it's like saying Marks and Spencer's make a pair of tracksuit bottoms that are available in store for £20, or they sell it via a third-party website online for £20. It doesn't matter. It's not like Matchroom are ripping off the fans by selling it on StubHub. Now, the secondary market is a more complex issue. If I buy a ticket from Matchroom for £40 and then I want to sell it either for a profit or because I can't go, I can then go on StubHub and sell it on the secondary market, and I could achieve financial gain from doing that. I could buy it for 40 and sell it for 100. Now, if I choose to do that, is it moral? Is it immoral? That's a question for another day. But what I can tell you is it's no reflection on Eddie Hearn. The fact that I've chosen to buy a ticket and sell it via StubHub doesn't mean Eddie Hearn's a thief. Doesn't mean Matchroom is a nasty business. It's a distinct and separate factor. So I don't think Eddie Hearn is doing anything wrong here. I have no problem with a business making money. And given the demand and buzz they are creating in the sport, they should be turning a good profit, which I'm sure they are doing. But why are people actually upset that Eddie Hearn's selling tickets on StubHub? It's irrelevant. It's literally irrelevant. Why are people upset that he's selling tickets on Fight Pass? It rewards loyal customers. It helps him create a resilient business. You know, tickets are still available on general sale. Yeah, a lot of people are saying they sold out very quickly. But by the same token, I've read a lot of people on boxing forums who logged on at 9 AM and just bought a pair of tickets. You know, it didn't seem like an overly complex transaction. I don't get why people are fuming about this. Yeah, and as for the ticket prices, I actually think they're quite reasonable. Now, tickets for this event started at 40 quid. Now 40 quid's a lot of money, you know. It's not cheap. But if you compare it to going to see a big band at the O2, if you compare it to go and see a Premier League football game, it's not wildly out of proportion, is it, 40 quid? You know, at the end of the day, Eddie Hearn is bringing Charles Martin, who holds the IBF Heavyweight Championship of the world, to London. He is flying in a world heavyweight champion to his prospect's backyard. He's also going to put on a stellar undercard by all accounts. I'm not some Hearn fanboy who's just trying to kiss his arse in this video, but the tickets are hardly going to be 20 quid, are they, given those circumstances? Now I know ticket prices go up, you know, 40 quid is the entry level. I'm sure they're very expensive if you want to sit ringside. But the O2 is a good venue. You know, I know it's a cliche, but there isn't really a bad seat in the house. 40 quid is not bad for my money. And given the demand for tickets, given how quickly they've sold out, he could have easily made that 40 quid 60 quid. And I wouldn't even blame him if he did, to be honest. You know, at the end of the day, there is a very, very easy way of expressing your discontent if you're unhappy with this. Don't buy a ticket. And if enough people feel like you, there'll be empty seats, either because the tickets won't have sold out or because all the touts who supposedly bought them won't be able to sell their tickets. And we'll see how quickly Eddie Hearn changes his tune then, if Anthony Joshua walks out to an empty O2 arena. But I can guarantee to you right now, that won't happen. In boxing, like any other business, we need to factor in supply and demand. And clearly, the demand is there to supply the tickets at £40 and up a go. Protecting the fans is one thing, but this is a business, and I, for one, don't really understand the uproar here. Let me know your thoughts. Have I misunderstood something? Have I got it wrong? I'm open-minded. Maybe I have. I haven't spent the most time looking into this, but this is my initial instinct. Let me know your thoughts. If you've enjoyed this, please hit the thumbs up button. Do hit the subscribe button. Join the channel. Thanks for watching.